Welcome to the Onyx Podcast, a podcast about software engineering, new ways of working, and lots of other interesting stuff. Today we're going to have a Pauze Praat, or a break talk, as I would say in English. So I have two guests with me. Mitchell, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
And Amir.
Thank you for having me here.
Welcome. And maybe we should start with Mitchell, because I think congratulations are in order.
Yeah.
Maybe you can reveal why.
Yeah. Our family has grown. We had two boys and now a third boy.
Nice.
So
you're following in the tradition. JP also has 3 boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So he's doing very well, and we're very happy adjusting to the new normal life with 3 kids. It's going better than expected. So
because of the experience? Is that how it works?
I think so. I don't know. I think so the small stuff like waking up at the nights and stuff, you're already into it, so
you know how it works.
Not a big shock.
Right.
With the first one, it's always a big shock from what to expect, and now you're used to it. Yeah.
So you brought a topic that is related to this, I think.
Sort of, yes. For the past weeks, I have been at home, and then you stay in your own city. So I've been biking a little bit more.
Right.
I bought an extra seat on my regular bike for my boy. So I have one in the back, one in the front.
Is it a normal bike or electric?
It's a normal damesfiets.
Okay.
And so it's a regular bike, 3 speeds, just what you need for a city, and it's quite fun. I'm not really a biking person. I always used to do it when necessary, but it's starting to grow on me. So thinking about that, we now have 3 kids, so you cannot. It becomes a little bit difficult to take all 3 of them on the bike, and the oldest one should be able to bike on his own soon, but still, sometimes if you're going a bit farther, you cannot ask a 5-year-old to bike that much. So we're thinking of looking into a bakfiets, a cargo bike.
So the ones that you can put your children in the front.
Yeah, exactly. And then there are If the viewers or listeners know me, I like to do a lot of research. So
yes.
I'm reading everything right now.
Reviews.
Yeah,
same here.
Decathlon has one.
Yeah. They so you
I'm
have.
a very big fan of Decathlon. Yeah. I never had a bike of theirs, but I think their bikes are also very good.
I think they have a good brand. I think it's Between.
Yeah.
I think that's the brand that they sell, but it looks nice. And then you have different types of cargo bikes. So that's something that's interesting, because you have the bakfiets, so it's a bike with like a bucket in front, and then it either has 3 wheels, so 2 wheels on the front, 1 wheel in the back, or just 1 wheel in the front, 1 in the back, and then you have to balance it out a little bit more. From what I read, the ones with just 2 wheels, you can manage it easily, because it's closer to natural way of biking. The ones with 2 wheels in front, the turning radius is of course a little bit harder to turn, but you also have a cargo bike where you put 2 seats in the back.
Yeah, I've seen those actually.
So it's like a long bike, I think.
I know that one.
The one that's really known, or if you look at the guys who, it's a company that delivers stuff on bike. I think it's. So I don't remember the name of the company, but they have an app and you can just deliver stuff, sort of like Flink. It's one of those. They have those bikes. So it's like a bike, but the back is extra long, and there you put 2 seats. So we're also looking into that, and it's going to be one of those.
But then you don't have anything in front.
You don't have any. It's just a normal bike.
Ah.
And the thing with the bakfiets is the one with the bucket in front. It's a bit bigger, so maneuvering, or sometimes you have to bike on the road with the cars. It's those things.
Did you try some of them already? My sister has one. The famous one is the Urban Arrow.
Yeah, those
drives quite nice, but it's really expensive.
It's really expensive. It's like
more
a small
expensive
car
than my car. No, it's much more expensive than my car actually.
Yeah. So
I have a very cheap car for the listeners.
And usually they are electric one, right?
Yeah. The Urban Arrows are all electric, I think.
Yeah.
I don't
they
think
are really known. It's like if you see them, you know which one it is. I've not ridden one yet, but
that one has 1 wheel in front. I think.
Yeah.
But what is the difference between 1 and 2 wheels? I didn't understand.
So because you have one wheel, the maneuvering is easier.
The
easy.
turning.
Yeah.
The
So
turning
when you're turning with a regular bike, also.
But why
lean
would they
into
have
it.
2 wheels for stability or something?
Yeah.
I have to say, I was curious about riding such a bike. But some time ago, we went with my sister to a shop. I think it was close by Den Haag, and there you could try different types of bikes, and
Nice.
I tried this cargo bike, and
The one with the one wheel in front. Or?
yes, and I have to say the riding is a bit different than the
Normal
regular.
bike.
Yeah. So you should do something like that. Go to a big showroom where you can try them all.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Maybe go with, because the good thing about and then comes the part with the baby. The good thing about having the bucket is that you can also put like a something for the maxi cozy. So you just click it in, and then you can take the baby, and it's fairly secure.
Yeah.
And with the normal bike, you either have to put the baby on you or So that's where we are.
So it's investigations.
Yeah.
But do you think next time that you're here, you will have bought one, or is it more like a long-term project?
It's possible. So if I buy one, it's probably more thinking in the sense of like, instead of a second car, you just have the bike to move.
That's how my sister does it as well.
Yeah.
They don't have 2 cars; they just have the cargo bike and a car.
Because having a second car, sometimes it's just parked there.
And she also uses it with now with 2 kids, but it's possible to use with 3.
Nice.
And I've also sat in front, and I fit. That was actually pretty fun. It's actually quite scary if you sit in the back.
Because you have no control.
Because you're not steering, and you're sitting down. You're quite low to the ground. And it's quite fast.
That's the thing. You're quite low to the ground.
Yes,
so.
it feels like you're in a race car, but you're not driving. So it's kind of scary. Okay, so congratulations again, and keep us updated. Yeah. But I'm sure you will. Amir, as your debut on Pauze Praat, what topic did you bring for us?
Yeah, I was thinking. Have you been in a situation that you talk about a topic at your home,
or in a podcast, maybe? But then later, like if a couple of hours later or next day, you will see advertisement related to that. Yes.
Did you figure out what's happening?
That's the thing. So I can guess we are using some gadgets, some tools that they are sending data about what we speak, and I think there are many discussions around this, like terms and conditions and privacy policy that we signed when we buy these gadgets. But I think the majority of people, they just don't pay attention to this.
Nobody reads the fine print.
I was curious, how do you guys think about this? How do you feel about this?
So I actually recently had a case, but it's a shame that I forgot what it was about. But it was really clear to me that there was a very specific topic that I never researched online, that I talked about with someone. And then the next day on my phone, I got an ad for it. And I was like, because I actually researched this once. It is a long time ago, so maybe it has changed. And then I read that apparently it's not true that it works like this. So they don't do that. But maybe it has changed. And that they explained that what's actually happening is that somehow you think it's because you speak, but the algorithms are so smart that what sometimes happens is that the algorithms come up with a topic that maybe you haven't explicitly searched, but they can just kind of like deduce from other things and like relationships you have or whatever, that you will be interested in this, and that's why you see those ads. But I don't know if this is true. But this is a theory. This is a theory that I read sometimes.
Okay, because sometimes they are very specific.
They're very specific. Yes, I recently had an example exactly like this.
Yeah. And, for example, I think I have like a bunch of examples, but my wife was talking about an Indian clothes, and then next day we saw some
Indian clothes.
Yeah, like being advertised on TV. So. But I don't want to talk about like all these legal things, and there are discussions about this. But me personally, I would prefer if I see an ad.
Right.
So it would be very nice if there is a link or somehow I can track from where this app is being
that
shown.
would be interesting.
Because Google has something sort of that you can click. Why am I seeing this ad?
Yes.
Really?
I've never read it, but So when
on
you see
any ad
from Google, you can click on the tiny I, the information button, and then it would
I've
say
never tried that.
why, and then you can also say I don't want to see this ad, and then
I know
the algorithm.
But I also use an ad blocker, so I don't see many ads.
Maybe on YouTube if you use it on your phone or something.
But what do you mean the source?
So
the company placing it, or like
how they come? Basically, I'm seeing this ad, so there should be some process behind this, that this some system decides to show this particular app to me, right? So like what was the source of the data and what was the companies in between that there were some algorithms that they decide this is useful for me.
That would be interesting if that's what have to be open.
I'm not even sure if it's possible, but it's
I'm immediately thinking that with AI, this is even going to become more complicated, because then probably you will have an AI algorithm deciding which advertising you see, and that's very hard to decipher.
Yeah, but I think it's the same thing. So if you look at one of the major social media platforms for younger people, TikTok, I had it for a while, but the algorithm, how it works, it's very intuitive in the sense that it measures how long you stare at something.
Yeah.
So all of them do it, but TikTok does it very well. And even in the sense that a friend of mine, he had a knee pain, and he was like, my knee, it wasn't. And all of a sudden, he comes across something that's like, do this exercise and it will help. And then,
really, the TikTok videos themselves started showing like exercise videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy.
And I think I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. What data they collect? But I think we do a lot on our phones without talking.
Well, one thing I can say about the data collection part is that at least in Europe, stuff actually has changed quite a lot, because I manage a lot of websites. One for Yonex, for example, our corporate website, and we all had to change the tracking. You cannot use the old Google algorithm anymore because it stored data that we cannot store anymore by law.
Mm-hmm.
So there's actually more restrictions now on. I mean, I don't know all the technical details, but they're definitely working on that side from the governments and stuff on putting more restrictions. But I really like the idea to be able to see why you got served an ad.
Yes.
I think that's a very interesting.
Would be interesting. To see.
And it would also be funny, kind of, to see about yourself. Like what I always find really funny still is I don't know if you recognize that, but you buy something and then you bought it, like a cargo bike. It's a good example. And then still for like 6 months you get advertisements for cargo bikes, but it's useless because you already...
The sales already been made.
And sometimes it's stressful because you might find, I could have bought this.
Yeah, it's interesting. So maybe next time if you come, we can have an update on your most recent examples of strange advertisements that you got.
We can see.
And I'm going to remember the next time it happens, I'm going to write it down and tell it to you, because I had one really recently that was very funny, exactly like this, that I don't remember.
Now, I have a question for you guys, because the same type of algorithms that provides us with advertisements is the same type of stuff that maybe would put a new song in your suggestion or
similar.
Yeah. So or make your life easier. So I'm trying to think. I remember. So for example, with iPhone, I don't have an iPhone, but when I had it, I think this was maybe 6-7 years ago. They had a sort of thing where it would say, "Hey, if you leave home right now, you will get to this place here, and you can take this road, and the traffic is like this." And it's the same type of data collection. How do you guys feel about it? Because I feel that how it's going, it's you give privacy for an easier way of life.
Yeah. I see. I totally.
How do you guys feel about that?
See your point. Yeah, like every other technology, it has both sides.
Yeah. So you give some data and then it tells you, hey, this is on. You can buy.
I don't know. I don't care about it too much. I just want. I would be okay with not sharing anything if that would be possible, and not getting any fancy algorithms because I don't really need it.
Yeah.
Even for Google Maps or anything, I don't need my calendar to share with the Google Maps where I'm going and then advise me, like I can do that myself.
Yeah.
The only place where I would like to actually share data, well, it's not necessarily that I would like it, but at least I would find the results more interesting, is with AI actually, because I've been experimenting with that a lot and I quite like it sometimes to use it. But there, of course, the AIs don't remember all the data you give them yet. So it would be really scary, but also really interesting to give an AI like my whole email history. And then, I don't know, I actually don't really know what I would do with it, but like, I think it would be interesting at least to see what the kind of results could be. Like, I don't know how often you speak with people or like, I would find that an interesting exercise, but that's for a very different reason. I wouldn't want companies actually to get the data, but I would like to train an AI with it. But I guess that's not really possible. Well, unless you have the AI locally, I guess.
Yeah, I think as long as it's free or cheap, it's not possible.
But giving up data, I think we all do it, like you said, without thinking about it. You just press the OK button.
Yeah. Because it's like these terms and conditions and privacy policies that are like 100 pages, and you just need to install an app. So
we're not gonna get away from it. Talking about apps, my topic was actually a bit simpler and a bit lighter. Literally, it's good weather again. We're living in May. The sun is back, and recently I live in a city, a small city, but still a city, and the nature is like a bit far away. And sometimes like there's a very nice sunset, but that in the city, of course, the sun is gone up behind the buildings at a certain point. So I was thinking like, okay, what are all the different places that I could go to see the sunset? And I was like, wait a second, there must be an app or something for that. But then I found really interesting, I think it's called Sunshade, but if you just Google on something like a shade map or something like this, there are actually a few different ones. So it's like a Google Maps. It's actually pretty cool. And then they use the height map. So they have all the buildings like also inside. And then you can kind of put the time. So the place and the time where you are. And then you see like the shadows of the buildings on the streets and everything.
Whoa.
And they will move with the sun. So you can put the time and then you see like which street, where in the street you still have you see what I mean?
Yes.
You exactly see where the sun is and where the shade is in like 3 dimensions. So it's actually pretty cool. So I did that. And then for the place where I live, I just put, okay, I'm not here now. This is the time. And then I could go with the slider like, okay, the sun is going down. And then by just looking at where the dark spots are and the light spots, you can see like, oh, I can watch the sunset there and there. So it was actually pretty
interesting.
Pretty cool app. So I was surprised that they have all those data actually from those buildings. Like that's a lot of data.
Like the height of the buildings.
It was really exact. I could see it from my own street. And then I have a small park in front of my street. So I know quite detailed like how the sun goes over that park in the evening. And it was really accurate. I could tell. I mean, there might be some small mistakes, but overall I could see it was quite accurate.
I think that they don't need to ask for that. I think some satellites. They
probably also do it with AI. They take the pictures and they just scan the buildings and stuff.
Something like that.
And the top view. So if you ever wonder
where I can see
or
this.
Like you're going someplace and you want to know where can I sit in the park that I have the sun for the longest time, or something like this. They even had an option, but I had to pay for it in this one, for trees, that they include shadow from the trees. So it is really advanced.
So if theoretically, if you're fast, you can always be on the sunset side. So if you move fast,
yes, right, you can just follow the shade. Yeah. So this was my topic. So a very sunny topic. I guess that's it for now.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
It was very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Amir, and thanks for the break. And let's get back to work.
Nice. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.